Give a cheer to the ladies drinking beer in the cellar of Murphy's Saloon. Okay, maybe not, but it's Friday. I'm in a cheery mood. You got to sing, right? I think we did that last week, and I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing, but I'm sort of enjoying starting the show with a little tune. Yeah, I know. So much to do. It all comes together so fast at the end. I live and die on checklists, and the checklist is kind of about an hour or so before the show starts. Do this at 1 o'clock, and then at 1:30, do that, and then things start happening quicker and quicker. And then these last ones, it's a 1 minute warning, and oh my gosh, I'm in panic mode, and things going to start. I have made some major restructuring of my audio system here this week. So I did a test earlier. It seemed like I was online, but and I don't see anybody complaining that they see my lips moving, but nothing's coming out. But do let me know if there's anything that I need to know. There we go. I need a theme song, Cynthia. Help me develop one. It's got to have drama in it, or Andromeda or something like that. Hey, well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday. It is Pi Day Friday. Today is February the 11th, which probably has some important element in history, but I don't know what it is. I will note, however, that it is 2 days before an important date and 3 days before an important date. We have Super Bowl Sunday coming up in 2 days. Oh, ciao. I said Super Bowl. Oh, wait a minute. It's okay. I'm not using it to promote anything, so I won't be sued. You can't imagine. Maybe you can. How tightly they control words like that, and if you use them inappropriately. An organization that I'm with got a cease and desist order because we were holding an event called a swim-a-thon. Somebody owns the trademark to a thon, and the lawyers got involved, and eventually my organization, not mine, but the one I was part of, backed down rather than fight, which I think is a real shame, because I think something that ubiquitous, it just shouldn't be owned. Monday, celebrated in many parts of the world, is Valentine's Day. I'm not doing anything. I don't know if Mike is going to. I doubt it. He will probably not even notice it. But there we go. What is all this now? I got so much junk here on my desk. I got to figure out on my desktop. Got to figure out what's going on. Well, it's Friday. We have the date. I am Dave Rush, or David Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars, and this is an Ask Me Anything. So you put them together, Dave Rush, Ask Me Anything, and you get drama. So we call this thing drama. And we get together every Friday at this time for an hour or two and talk about all things CompTIA and technology. And we do a project whenever possible. I got a good project for today. Excuse me. I feel good. My voice feels good, but it sounds a little rough. So, and of course, we've been doing and will be doing for the foreseeable future a couple of giveaway contests for practice tests, and for what's that other thing we give away? I don't know, probably something good. Oh yeah, CompTIA voucher. So it's going to be a good day. I am joined in the back channel today, and I think if everything works out well, we were going to try and do this today, but we didn't get together yesterday to make plans. But hopefully next week, my back channel partner will be a front channel partner. It's Andrew Hutz, writer, editor, and many other hat wearers here. He is a moderator in the back channel. He does research, he posts links, and does all those things that back channel folks do. As a moderator, he's watching out for Russian spammers who at least try to do a little business on our YouTube chat feeds in the last few weeks. They seem to have been silent now, but he does wield Trollnir, the official moderator's banhammer. And among his many credentials, I should tell you a little bit about him: an accomplished security and hacking specialist, highly trained marksman with a sling and extra large marshmallows. In his spare time, he enjoys long walks on the beach, getting caught in the rain, and pina coladas. All right. He's a great source of a wide range of information. So a good target for your questions as well as I am. So what are we doing here? We're here to advance technical learning while isolated during the COVID virus crisis. This is drama episode number 79, give or take. And our goal here, of course, is to talk about all things technical and try to integrate Raspberry Pi computers into our studies for whatever technology you're studying for, be it a CompT exam or CCNA or whatever else. And sometimes we use it just to teach underlying technologies that are necessary for those things. That's what we're going to do today. Last week, we installed a program called Cacti, which is used to monitor servers. They describe it as monitoring the network. Okay, because you can do it on multiple servers on the network. They don't have to be on your local network. They can be remote, and coolness. What we're going to do today is we're going to use it. And in order to use it, we don't have to, but we're gonna, because it's kind of what I do here. We want to understand what it has to do with CompTIA and studying, and you got to know how stuff works. So Cacti uses a protocol called Simple Network Management Protocol, SNMP. And we'll get into what it is and what it does. And I'm not going to do a real long presentation on it, but enough that you'll understand it. And then we'll configure our Cacti server and use it just to see some real-time graphs as it draws information from the hosts that it's going to monitor. Excuse me. There we go. Using SNMP. We do these AMAs 3 times a week. Mike Myers, the man himself, the president of Total Seminars, chief author, chief presenter, and so many other hats as well. He gets together with you guys on this same channel at 2 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays for an hour or so. And he's given us 2 hours to get together on Fridays to do this. So it's a drama. It's an AMA. Easiest way to ask me something is to do so right here, right quick in the YouTube chat feed. If that's not possible, for all the myriad reasons that may not be possible, there are other ways that you might want to contact me. Let me entertain you. Oh my goodness. Things I've done and things that I haven't done yet today. There's the screen sharer. You can do so by sending me an email. I work for Total Seminars. My name is Dave Rush. I am therefore Dave R at totalsem.com. You can also send it to my personal email if you like, drushtx at yahoo.com. Don't use both. They cross-link and terrible things will happen. If you catch me on Steam, I'm BloodRushTX. Back channel, Andrew Hutz, also works for Total Seminars, and his name is Andrew Hutz. So Andrew H at totalsem.com. And that means if you know the name of somebody and you want to communicate with them and they work at Total Sem, you pretty well got it figured out, right? First name, last initial. For instance, Michael Myers, if you want to send him an email, he loves to get your emails. I'm not being facetious about that. He really does. He's Michael M at totalsem.com. And there's other contact information on this screen that you could pause and go review if you feel so inclined. All right, well, let's see who's here, what's going on, and then we'll get caught up on all that happy stuff. Yeah, that's not bad. So Tulawit was here first, almost as always, only a half an hour before the show starts. So he wasn't up at 4 o'clock in the morning, my time, waiting to go to bed. And posting the, oh, that's why, because I didn't put the stuff together until this morning after I got up. So I usually do it the night before, but not today. Okay. Andrew DeGoyert's here. Andre DeGoyert is here. I just got connected on Steam. Thank you. Who's that? That was, it rolled by too quickly. Let me see if it's got the same name as anything I see here. I thought it said Nil something. All right. Well, Nil, glad to be connected with you on Steam as well. And by the way, also connect with me on LinkedIn. I need more LinkedIn people, not because I'm not competitive in that way, but because I do announcements. I do tech tips. I do upcoming show announcements, all kinds of goodies like that. And that's a good outlet source for me to do those communications. So if you'd like to get posts from me about upcoming and technical tips and fun things like that, by all means do that. And I've got some other outlets that we will share with you as the day goes on. All right, so just before the show started, Andrew made the first other post. It's Friday, ask questions. Chris Kent is here and back. Nice to see you again. And there he is, the man, the legend, our own. Yes, I do need a theme song, Christine. Ciao from Alex, hanging out in Milano. You know what? I ran across this question this week, and I hope you come to Discord later this afternoon, or post it now. We pronounce it Milan, when we're speaking about geography and so forth, and we pronounce it Rome. And I've always been curious. I haven't always been curious, but I've been recently be curious if the locals call it Milano and Roma, or is it just Milan and Rome? Do let me know sometime, some way. The Super Bowl of ramen. Our favorite chef, who is actually a trained and accomplished chef, speaks of ramen. Of course, there's good ramen too. There's not that 19-cent package stuff. Oh no, forgot Valentine's Day. Good news. You got 2 days to shop, Andrew. It's half price chocolate day. Yeah, so I was working on what I'm going to do for a code next week. The obvious one is Valentine, but don't hold me to that because I got another possibility. We'll see. But I wanted to see how international Valentine's Day was, because I don't want to leave too much of the world out. I know not everybody celebrates it. And that took me down a rabbit hole. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you know now. Back channel. I ran across how different nations and cultures celebrate Valentine's Day. In the US, it's kind of a three-fer. You got flowers, you got hearts and cards and decorations, things like that, and chocolate or other candies. Some are very focused on just one or two of those items or whatever. And there's a couple countries that are just chocolate. That we celebrate Valentine's Day by gifting chocolate, which I think is a wonderful tradition. Valentine's Day is my wedding anniversary as well. Andre, that's awesome. Congratulations, man. Yeah, so, I've seen you. I'm going to guess you've probably been married about as long as I have. I just did my 35th anniversary last year. So I think you're probably a little older than me. So you're probably banging up on your 40. Alan Duggan is here. Hey, everyone, as is Brian Baggs. Nice to see you back. Welcome back. Good, sounding good. Thank you. I've been running all this time. I might have been dead silent for all this time. Let's follow it. I didn't read it out loud. I didn't have to. TD Washington is here. Dave and Chatters. Nice. Because it's not Chattels. Wilson Kunzwana is here. You are all taken care of paperwork wise. That'll go out tonight after today's winner gets added to the list. Brian Baggs at 2:07. I downloaded Cacti, but you need to run a web server to use it. Okay, so the way to do it, Brian Biggs, is to follow along last week's AMA or drop me an email, daveR@totalsem.com, and I will send you the outline with all the step-by-steps that you can do that. My server is down. Thank you, Comcast. They have killed port forwarding capability in my world, and I've got to pick a host to put that up on. I've liked my host here. It's been free. I think that's why they don't like it. So I have not yet begun to search for an alternative yet, but I will in a reasonable time. But for anybody who wants any of my old show documents, my outlines, my pictures, my whatever, I keep them out every week. I package them up in a little zip file, and you can gather any one of them you want right now. Just drop me an email and let me know which show, the date, or the subject, or whatever, and I will respond with that zipped up package. But you can just watch the episode last week. You're gonna have to pause it at one point for 20 minutes after the first installation component goes. But what happens is that install that I did takes care of installing the web server. So it's all automatic. And it's a really easy install. When you get down to it, 5 commands, maybe it's 6, just a little bit of patience and a couple answers to a couple questions that are all fully discussed in that presentation. Now, if you're talking about you've downloaded Cacti for Windows, slightly different animal. I have not done that, but I'm going to guess that they use the web server that's built into Windows, IIS. And too many screens, and I got too much to do today. I'm not going to show you how to enable IIS. It is really insanely simple. Just use your favorite search engine and search on enable IIS. That's probably good enough. But if you want to say in Windows, there's been a built-in web server in Windows since before Windows 7. Information Services, Internet Information Services, I think, something like that. And it's, you click here and wait a couple seconds and you have a web server. Now you got to do is go and add files and content and things like that to it. So, all right, moving past 208. Where would you recommend a good place to buy a Raspberry Pi? Nowhere. Supply chain issues. There are precious few available right now. If you're in the US, heavy D, what I am doing right now is I go to the US distributor for Raspberry Pi, and I have placed back orders. I have a half a dozen Pis ordered that as soon as they come in, myself and anybody else who places back orders on them will be the first to get them. If you wait until they come in that day and maybe try to get notification, they will be gone. I got burnt by that 2 times and learned my lesson. They don't charge you until they come in, and so it's, you're going to put a credit card on file with them, and it's going to not put a hold on there, but it's going to reserve your charge. And then when they come in and, hey, we're going to ship this week, your credit card gets charged and off it goes. So the distributor is Newark, NEWARK.com. There's some smaller distributors in the US, but that is the big distributor house. And the next, I ordered some in December, end of November, early December, something like that. And I am not expecting them to arrive until late May at this point. And if you try and buy used ones, you can get them and they just charge stupid amounts. Horrible, overpriced. That's the nice thing about the distributors. They can't overcharge. They can only charge manufacturer's list price. Okay, so Alex has posted for Brian an install method. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Something big is about to appear at my door. You know what? He's not knocking. He's not looking for a signature. I'll live. Okay. Python 3 minus M HTTP server 80. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Okay. Yeah, but that's probably not the best way to do this with Cacti, but it is a way. Because you need PHP, a couple other goodies. Use mine. Yeah, do it on a VM. That sounds good. You're on Windows 11 Pro. That's fine. 211, Alex, Instagram and Twitter are good for announcements too. Yeah, I know. I really have been chewing on. I don't think I'll do Instagram. I'm in my late 50s. I'm not allowed to use Instagram, but I can tweet, and I don't have a Twitter account, but I have actually been chewing on that for 6 to 8 weeks now. And I will have something up and coming that will require more communication on my part, and Twitter will be one of my venues to do that. Kimber Parker, first time listener and commenter. What's up with y'all? Hey, all is well, Kimber. Thank you for joining. Sorry, I was going to ask questions and things like that. I got so much to do, so forgive me for just shooting past, but welcome. Good day for Mr. S. Milano and Roma. That's what I thought. Thank you. Growing up, Milano was a Pepperidge Farm cookie. I was going to do that line, and I thought, nah, even for me, that's too low-hanging fruit. You need LinkedIn Connect. So I don't have my page on that. If you just look up Dave Rush and Total Seminars or Dave Rush Raspberry Pi on do a search in LinkedIn, you will find me, and I will connect with you. Juana said, Chris Kent, Crookcast. Yeah, that's who. I must confess. Sahil is here. Greetings, Sahil. Will Shaw is here. Oh, congratulations. Done with another check ride. Way to go. In record time, huh? I think you did the Kobayashi Maru maneuver. You reprogrammed the conditions of the test. You changed the conditions of the test. We don't see Scott. Sahil, apparently you didn't get the word. Scott is no longer part of Total Seminars. It was an extremely sad event a couple of weeks ago, and we expect to see and hear from him in other worlds and other venues, but he has gone on to other pastures. So Andrew Hutz is our new guy working the back and in the front on occasion. You were here last Friday. I don't have a Raspberry Pi yet. I ask later. Okay, you're on Windows. Sure. Now you can always open up a virtual machine in Windows too, and put up an Ubuntu instance in there. IIS on Windows Server. It's on regular Windows too. You don't need it on server, bud. Happy Friday, all, says Mr. G. I like that Mr. G and Mr. S are both here. You get IIS Express, a lighter version. I'm planning on buying a Raspberry Pi soon. Yeah, if you can get one. All right, caught up on questions. Let me get done with the rest of this nonsense. If there's, oh yeah, here, let's just dive right over here. I'm gonna bring up some slides, talk about a couple of them. Andrew, if you would be so kind as to post up the specials and the Discord link, that would be awesome. And I will share saying these things, things that I'm about to put on screen are both going to come up on the YouTube chat, as Andrew will do those things at whatever the current time is. So we got deals. Oh, such we have deals. We got deals for you. And we do these every week. There's a change in code every week. Sometimes there's a change in the deal. This week, the deal is bundles, 50% off of any bundles made up of an ebook and a matching total tester. So we've got matching pairs for A+ and Net Plus and Sec Plus and Cybersecurity Analyst Plus, and you can read them off the list. I'm not going to do this for you. What you do is you go put the two items in your basket, and when you check out, you put in the code Charlie, CHARLIE, lowercase. And where do you do this at? Funny you should ask. You do this at totalsem.com, just like where my email is. And that's good through this Sunday night. Code will change on Monday morning. That's slide number 1. It's after 4 o'clock my time on Friday, and you want to communicate with me. Well, of course, you can email me. I'm always hanging out. As long as my computer's turned on, I got a page tied into the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel, UTSD, I'm starting to call that now. And here is your invitation to it. It's posted on the YouTube chat, and you can do a screen pause right here. Join us on Discord. It's unofficial. We don't own it. We don't operate it. It's owned and operated by Siegfried, and some of the other folks that are here are moderators there. Excuse me. Andre's here, and Tulowitz here. I'm not sure who all else is official moderators on there. Yes, I know some of the other ones, but I didn't see them here today yet. And they've got all kinds of stuff on there. There's study groups, and there's computer tech help, and there's a Kali Linux section or security, and there's Raspberry Pi, and there's Linux, and there's dozens little sub forums with lots of good stuff. And we get together after every one of these AMAs, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with mics and cameras, and just chat about anything. So we encourage you to do that. You don't have to. You don't need a mic and camera. Just come on in and text chat with us. We'll talk to you. But it's a little more free form. things here are very G-rated and very professional. And there we, you know, things get just a little bit more loose. You know what I'm saying here. All right. That's it for those. I got a couple more to share with you a little later. Did it. Passing through my outline and my notes. That stuff's all done. Okay, where we've been and where we're going. Last week, we demonstrated the steps to install Cacti, the Cacti console, on a Raspberry Pi and how to log into it. So we did the installation and how to log in. Today, we're going to look at how it does what it does, and then we're going to make it do what it does. We're going to use SNMP. I wrote myself a note here that says, no tutorial, this is all from me. That's true. The process that I'm going to show you didn't come from a tutorial. However, I did find a nice tutorial that I'm going to share with you in a little bit about the SNMP process. It's a really nice, concise, easy to understand, and not too long explanation of what SNMP is and how it works. No, you're not going to know everything you need to know that you could know about it. You'll know enough about it to get through the two CompTIA exams that address it, and I'll give you a little more than that. And normally at this, attack with that. Did that. Okay, news, tricks, and techniques of the week. I got a few today. So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that a new version of the Raspberry Pi operating system came out. There has been a beta version of the 64-bit Raspberry Pi OS for quite some time, and they finally released an official version. And I haven't played with it yet. I started to because I had a question and I needed to get an answer to it, and that is the imager that comes from Raspberry Pi has built-in references to images that live on the Raspberry Pi websites. And of course, that 64-bit version was never in there. So I was wondering if we would need to get a new imager. So the other day I went and checked the imager version. There was a new version that came out, 1.71. It does have the new stuff in there, and it's got some new menus, and it's really cool. It's available for Windows. It's available for, oh wow, little typo there. That's a bad typo to have. I'll fix that in the downloadable documents later. Anyways, it's available for Windows. It's available for Linux distros for the Pi, and I think it's Python based, so I think it'll run on other distros. All right, write me if you have questions about it. I'm not going to run through the process. Oh, but I'll tell you one of the good things about it. The last two versions of the imager, in order to get to the configuration menu, you had to know the super secret handshake. You have to do Shift Control H, and that would bring up a config menu. You don't have to do that anymore with the new version. In fact, that doesn't work. There's a gear setting in the lower right-hand corner of the utility that gets you there. So huzzah. Unrelated to anything CompTIA oriented or Raspberry Pi oriented, I got to tell you, I had a fun experience this week, and I actually wind up doing this about every year or two. My mouse, he's wireless, as is my keyboard, and it has been doing something funky that it's insidious. You don't realize it's the mouse. You just think it's something else, maybe the wireless receiver, whatever, but it was double clicking sometimes, at first, occasionally, and then consistently. And it dawned on me, wait a minute, okay, I got a symptom here that's ongoing. It's the mouse, it's filthy. So I cleaned my mouse the other day. You got to pop the bottom off on this one, remove one screw, and then the whole thing comes disassembled. Had myself a can of compressed air, had myself a can of contact cleaner, which is ether. And boy, when I hit it with that first thing of canned air, I wished I'd been outside. Poof, it looked like a dust bomb. So then I got that all dusted out. I got it all cleaned out. Then I hit it with the canned air again to dry the cleaner. And wow, it's like having a new mouse, except for all the wear on it. Oh man, it was filthy. It was gross. Not just the dust. There was, you know, particles that got in the cracks. There was schmutz and ugh, but much better. Okay, I do have something cool to share with you. Raspberry Pi company needs your help. When you go to create a micro SD card with Raspberry Pi operating system on it, hey, there's one. You need a computer that works, a Windows computer, another Linux computer. You need, I wasn't thinking about doing this much of a demo, so do I have it out? Yeah, there's one. You need a card reader of some kind. And in my case, I plug this into my computer. I put the micro SD card into it. I run the imaging program. I select my operating system that I want to boot on there. I select the configuration stuff and the gear, and then hit the go button, and it burns it. And then when it's all burned and ready to go and tested, pop it out of here, go put it into an unpowered Raspberry Pi, power up the Raspberry Pi, and then start updating and doing all that stuff. They want to fix that. They want to take it so that you have a Raspberry Pi with a network connection, wired. It's got to be wired. Can they do wireless? I haven't experimented with this yet. And you pop this thing in, and right now, here's what they need your help with. You're going to need a working unit to do some testing with them and for them. You're going to download a piece of software from them that's going to update the firmware in your Raspberry Pi, and it's going to put the imager in there and then some boot code. So once that's done, now you can pop that card out, just have a power supply and a network interface connected. And I'll bet, you know what? You can do this wireless. You don't have to have a wired connection, because now I'm thinking about how the imager works. It's even better, the installer. So you power it up with the blank new card in there, and that bootloader will load up. It will load up the imager. That will let you configure a wired or wireless interface. If it's wired, it's all auto configured. If it's wireless, you can go in there and configure what wireless access point you want to connect to, blah, blah, blah. And then what you have on screen, you're going to need a real screen and a real keyboard for this part, and then perhaps a mouse. Yeah, it's mouse oriented, but you can do it all with keyboard. You run the same imager program that you're used to running on any other thing. So you'll select your operating system, you do your configuration, and then you say go, and this will download and burn the image onto the blank micro SD card here. Then you just reboot and it boots up. So they're looking for help and trials for people to try that out. Andrew, I have a link to that in the back channel list, and I'm going to post this link here. You can go find this, by the way, if you just go to raspberrypi.com, tutorial link, bootloader beta. There we go. So this is a two-part, two-phase thing. One where they're going to, you need a live working machine to do beta work with them, and it won't hurt it. It won't change your machine, and you can always undo it. It's really easy. I did do that. But eventually, all Raspberry Pis will come pre-shipped with that firmware, and you won't have to do anything. And that's really, really amazingly, awesomely cool. All right, so to get there, go to raspberrypi.com, whack news, whack network install, beta test, your help required, all separated by dashes. Sorry, I was being spoken to. Okay. The link that I have on screen, Andrew, it's the Raspberry Pi bootloader beta. It's the one that's on raspberrypi.com. Tell your missus I said hi, and don't tell her what you and I know about your Valentine's Day memory. Let's see, is there anything else that I want to do on this? No, not yet. Okay, good. So that's cool. Okay, Pi R Square is still dead. Talked about that. If you want my notes and downloads and stuff like that, grab it from, send me an email. I am just about finished with my Linux Plus course. I have 2 modules to go. I've completed 22 of them. I got 23 and 24. They are both 20 minutes apiece. That will complete the course. And so earlier this week, I went and started checking off the objectives from CompTIA and discovered there was a couple major, wasn't in the materials. Okay, I will post it myself. I can do that. Stand by. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's probably not. You know what? Just go to raspberrypi.com and you'll find it in their news section. Anyway, so I started checking out the objectives of the Linux Plus objectives page, just like you would do A plus or Net plus, and I discovered two major missing elements from the course that are covered on the exam, and I think they're really important, and you ought to know them. And I don't know GitHub. I don't know Git very well. So that's missing, and scripting, which I kind of know, but I don't think I know to the level that we need to know for Linux Plus. So I wrote them about it and they said, oh yeah, we're making those. And it looks like they're not going to add them as modules into Udemy, but if you're a student of his course, we're going to get to it soon. And then we'll give you a complimentary link to the wherever they're storing them. So we'll see if that happens. What's going to happen is, notwithstanding Super Bowl, and I got friends coming over, I will self-learn over 2 days those two topics. And then I'm going to go over the whole course again, but this time I don't have to spend 3 hours for every 30 minutes of presentation. I can do about 30 or 40 minutes because I've got all the notes and fixed. So that's going to take 2 weeks to get through at most. Meantime, I'll be doing practice tests until my head bleeds. And so I expect to take the Linux Plus test in the next 14 days. As always, we'll have two contests today. We've got a contest for a practice test package and for one for CompTIA voucher. I think that's going to take care of, yeah, that's all my notes until we get to the first contest. It's 36. So let's go see what's happening on posting links. All right, I left off at 2:15, which is plenty of time. Yes, Scott is absolutely fine. I've been over to his house. He doesn't want to discuss what happened. It's personal and private and whatever. He will communicate with everybody. He expects to be on Discord live again in the future. He's just letting a little time pass and let some of the people in total seminars deal with his departure. It was, it's just like you. It was very shocking for all of us, and painful and hurtful. And I think except for, the upper management that he's worked with for 25 years, I'm probably the closest employee that he has to a friend or former coworker. There we go. Everybody's friendly and friends, but you get the idea. More information will come out over time, but for now. Reading notes here. This is a passing. I was on. Okay, I see what happened. Okay, I'm passing 220 now. So Andrew posted the AMA specials at 222 and the invitation to the unofficial Discord channel, UTSD, at also 222. Oh my gosh, says TD Washington at 225. The Newark website is saying that Raspberry won't be in stock until September. Yeah, I believe that's possible. I ordered from them, like I said, when they got May shipments coming in. And I was just talking to the missus this week about permission to put a bunch of them on back order because, everybody's is hurting with supply chain issues. Oh, okay. Andrew found it at 234. Thank you. Dave, who's going to win the Super Bowl? Man, that's a tough one because I got a favorite. I'm not sure that my favorite is going to be the winner. And, why I care because I have a favorite. What I really care about is a good game. All the games for the last couple of weeks building up the Super Bowl have been almost all very, very good, enjoyable football games if you enjoy the sport, and I really do. So team favorite, Cincy. They're from my home state. Joe Burrow, their quarterback, is from the town that is my alma mater for my undergrad. Athens, Ohio, for Ohio University. So I'm hoping Joe Burrow does it. However, as many times as he got sacked 3 weeks ago by the Ravens, I know that the Rams have studied his O-line and are going to tear it apart and sack the crap out of him. I said it. And I think the Rams are going to win by not much, I hope. But, it's football any given Sunday. And that's my other favorite thing about football. Thank you very much, Andre. Who's going to win the F1 race? The guy with the fastest time. Yeah, chip shortages are real, and all the other things, not just chips. Excellent playoffs this year. Yes, they were, man, wonderful. Okay, go Bengals. All right, well, that takes care of that. And it's 40. That's a lovely time to do a contest. I'm going to stick with these Linux contests, these Linux command line contests through February, and then I'll change gears. So if you want kind of a head start on the thing, go look at the objectives for A+ 1002, 220-1002. And if you look at objective 1.9, there's a list of all of the Linux commands that you have to know something about for A+ 1002. And I work exclusively from that list. I ask a question about one of the commands in that list, or which one is not the right command, whatever, but it's always going to come from that list. So, go take a look at that and you will have a head start. And if you do a little research and you know something about those commands, you're going to ace it right off the bat. And some people have done that. Some of the commands have been easy and ones we use every day, and some not so popular. We'll see how today's goes. So we're going to do a contest. This is going to be for 90-day access to any of our Total Tester online practice tests. Excuse me. And we've got them for all the CompTIAs and a lot of non-CompTIA stuff. So you can go to totalsem.com and take a look at all of our Total Tester products. There's Pen Test Plus and CEH, and Linux Plus is in, I think Linux Plus is in there. Yes, it is, because I'm doing questions from there. And of course, all the trifecta stuff and much more. So you're going to get 90 days access to that. I'll tell you now, when we've picked our winner, Andrew is going to put up some information that you need to send me, a list of information. I want you to copy and paste that, if you're the winner, off of the YouTube chat and provide that information. If you're missing anything, it's not going to get sent out tonight. I'm going to wind up sending you an email next week that says, you're missing information. Please resend the whole shindig and we'll get it right. But you guys on my show are usually very, very good at getting me all the right information initially. And I appreciate that. That helps you. That helps all the other winners. It certainly helps me. So, okay, so let's talk about it then. Here is our question. Is there anything else I need to mention about that? Now, so you're going to send me the info. I send it in batches at the end of the week, Friday night. I send them to the appropriate people in our company for Total Tester, and they get them on Monday morning and they start working on them right away. Usually they're completed on Monday morning and they send an email out to you, but that's who you're going to hear from. It's going to be somebody from us. If somebody gets sick or something like that, or some project says, oh, more important stuff comes up, it may be a little delayed, but it should happen pretty quickly. All right, that's the process then. Here we go. So objective 1.9 says, given a scenario, use features and tools of the Mac OS and Linux client/desktop operating system. So we're kind of Linux oriented here with Raspberry Pis. I stick with Linux questions. Here is our question of the day, and then I will put this up. You know what? I'm just going to put this up on screen. What a silly. There we go. TTO question 1. I know you can't see it yet. Sit tight. It'll happen there. By the way, you get to put one answer and one answer only, and it has to be an exact match of one of the answers that I have in my answer choice list here. I don't have A, B, C, D listings. I just have answers. There's a command with parameters and numbers and whatever. All right, let's share this and then we'll talk about it. Share screen. Click that, click that. Andrew, you're watching the back channel. You know the feed, you know the right answer and the question. So keep an eye out. Help me pick a winner if you'd be so kind. So question, a process has glitched. It runs continuously and uses 60 to 80% of CPU time. The administrator cannot exit or close the process. She's identified the process number as 1238. Which command should the administrator use to stop and unload the process? 5 choices to work from. shutdown space PS space 1238, shutdown space 1238, task kill space 1238, kill 1238, PS kill 1238. One of those in a Linux system will shut down, stop a process and unload it from memory. So let me take a look. I'm going to leave that up while I see what's going on the submission. Okay, see the list coming up here. Eastern Michigan, man. You know, of all the teams that don't belong in the MAC and really belong in, you know, like a nice kindergarten group. Just kidding, DC, more power to you. My support to all MAC members. Pseudo, Frank. Here's an old joke. Daddy, I want a cookie. Now, what's the magic word? Pseudo, Daddy, I want a cookie. Thanks. I'll do a number. We're going to do the number thing for the other contest because that's more fair. You don't have to know anything about technology. You can just random guess. R minus R. Don't forget the F, Will, if you're going to force it. Wow. All right. Yeah, that's the way I see it, Andrew. That's incredible. All right, give me a second here while I update this, and then I'll bring up the answer page. Copy this, put it over in this file in the voucher winner list, winner up here. Save that. Okay, that's in the file. All right, let me put the right answer up. Really, I will. Here it is. Okay, the correct answer is kill 1238. Some of those, a shutdown is used for turning off the computer, and there is no such thing as shutdown PS for process. There's nothing involves processes here. The process number is sufficient, so there is no PS kill command. There is no kill PS. So kill 1238. The first one that appeared on my screen had the right answer. A lot of people did. So Charlie Schaefer, you are the winner. Andrew, if you will post up the how to claim stuff, I will do something similar here. And then I want to talk about a couple of the other answers because I think they're kind of cool. Voucher, winner. No. All right. So Andrew's going to put it up. I didn't make a slide for it. What you're going to do is you're going to send an email to me, Dave R at totalsem.com. And it's going to have just 4 pieces of information in it. I need your YouTube name. I need your real name. If they're the same thing, give it to me on 2 different lines. I need the email address that you want us to contact you at. Do not, I cannot use the one from the header in the email. It has to be in the body of the email because I copy and paste that and send that to the nice folks who handle this, and then tell me exactly by exam number which Total Tester online package you would like. So don't say A+, because there's 2 A+. By the way, A+, you do get both of them. But if you say Network Plus, I don't know if you mean N10007 or N10008. There's a couple other that fall into that. So give me the exact exam number for which you would like a practice test, and you will receive it in very short order. Mr. G and a couple other people said task kill. I threw that one in there on purpose. It's really cool because that's the Windows command to kill a task. Kill is Linux, task kill is Windows. PS kill from SafeMo. I invented that one. Very good. All right. So that was a nice sucker job on my part. I'm unplugged device. Pseudo kill might be necessary, but it wasn't one of the choices. All right. Yeah, you gotta have it minus F. Okay, reading questions then here. Thank you guys. Congratulations again, Charlie Schaefer. And Andrew posted that right after you posted your yay at 2:48. Hey, speaking of yay, we're cord cutters. and I don't have any subscription services to, programming content, shows, Netflix, Hulu, any of that kind of stuff. So if there's a series I want to watch, it's available the next day. So last night I watched the season finale for Boba Fett, episode 7. Man, Boba Fett has been a good set of 7 episodes. No spoilers. Discovery was, I think it's Discovery, was supposed to have their first new episode last night. So I didn't bother to look because, again, I got to wait a day being a cord cutter, but I will find that hopefully tonight if it really can exist. Crystal says at 2:49, I'm giving myself half credit because all I know is Windows. Okay. I can't argue with that. March of 2023 for 4B with 8s, man. And they're not an exception. Everybody in the same boat. I saw somebody on one of the forums I live on, one of the Raspberry Pi oriented forums, who created a scraper. A scraper is something that goes out, searches websites, extracts particular information, and then publishes it on a dedicated website. And he created a scraper for all of the distributors and companies worldwide that he knew of that sells Raspberry Pis, and it checks stock for all of those. And there's a few. You can find some Raspberry Pi 400s, the integrated new model that's got a built-in keyboard and mouse. But for the rest of them, if I remember right, I didn't see any standalone circuit board style Raspberry Pis in any of the suppliers anywhere. They are gone. The card starts soon, exactly right. And the other one that we watch, and no information on when What We Do in the Shadows is going to pick up again. And I haven't watched any of it yet because I just, I can't spend too much time on TV. I got way too much to do. And but what I'm supposed to be watching, from what everybody tells me, is Yellowstone and the prequel 1873 or 63 or whatever it is, 1694. You've so far said my name 3 different ways. Christina Strickland is the way I read that. I apologize. I read quickly. I pronounce, I speak when it comes to reading the printed word like impressionist painters paint. It's not what I see, it's what my mind sees. So I apologize if I've mispronounced. Mr. G, Dave, just following up, did I receive your email from last week? I usually respond to emails that I get same day. Now, if they come up on a weekend, I try and take the weekend off from totally seminar-y stuff. I will look again, but it would not hurt if you would send it again. daveR@totalsem.com. Again, just I'm operating on the premise that I am generally perfect about such things. I apologize if I did receive it and I did not respond to you. So remind me in the email that you are Mr. G in a fresh email, so I'll have an opportunity to do some looking around. You might get a 400. I can't bring myself to get a 400. However, I am getting convinced that I might have to get a compute module. I got a project for that. Anna Luxi, guten Abend from Deutschland. I'm a Rush, originally R-O-U-S-C-H, and so I speak 10 words of German. Okay, I'm going to hold off on questions there at 2:53, and let's talk project. This week's project, we're going to use Cacti, the network monitor and management utility. If you are going to pursue an IT administrative job in a Linux environment, Cacti is a very, very, very popular network management utility. There's a couple others, and they generally look and work roughly the same. So even if you wind up in a company that doesn't teach or use Cacti, they use another product, and you'll say, oh, well, yeah, this is, Cacti does this here. So, if you're pursuing any kind of employment, any kind of position where you'll do IT management, IT support at a Linux level, you should get familiar with Cacti. Sometimes I call it Cactus, I apologize. So to use it is a two-step process. You've got a step number one, select the computer that you want to monitor. Can be the same computer that Cacti is on, can be at a different computer. And then once that's selected, you have to configure it so that it can be monitored. And that configuration is really, really, really simple. You install SNMP support, and then optionally, there's one or two things that you might want to change in the SNMP configuration file. I'm going to show you that. There's step number one. Step number two, we've installed Cacti. We access it with a web browser on some server, and then you configure it to say, now I want you to reach out and gather information from that machine with SNMP on it. Again, could be the same machine, and it will gather and collect information. It will save it in a SQL database that was installed automatically during the installation process we did last week. Beg your pardon. And it will show it to you graphically, and it's really kind of cool. Let me show you something cool and interesting. That's a good thing to show. I like that one. Share this. So you saw this screen last week. Last week we installed Cacti, and then I showed you how to log into it. And when you log into Cacti, this is just a regular web browser. Browsed over to, I didn't put the IP address of my machine that's running Cacti. And this is the page that it takes you to at the very beginning. And these three things are the get started shortcut. All of these things are available through submenus in here, but the process to configure and monitor another machine is to create a device, create graphs for your device, and then look at the graphs. And here is what looking at the graphs looks like. And I know it's a little shrunk down. This is network activity, and all these other, this pink, that's just a consistent, whatever that's measuring right now. Same thing here, same thing down here. There's CPU utilization and all kinds of other goodies along there. So that's what we're gonna do. And I don't need to read you all that. So I want to talk about briefly SNMP. Oh, what do we need for this stuff? You need a Raspberry Pi running Cacti console. And what that means, you need a Raspberry Pi that has Cacti installed on it, and then a computer with a browser to access Cacti. Could be the same computer, works just fine on a Raspberry Pi, or you can do this from another machine. I'm doing this from, I'm going to use the browser on a Windows machine when I demo this to you. Boy, my machine is just wonking and honking. There's all kinds of activity going on. I don't know what it is, but I'm busy. I'm talking to you guys. You need a network connection from your machine that's got the browser on it. That's not true. Yeah, you need a network connection on the browser machine. You need a network connection on the machine that's got Cacti on it. And you need a network connection on the machine being monitored. Again, they could all be in the same machine. They could be three different machines. And you don't just have to monitor one machine. Cacti in a single instance can be used to monitor tens of thousands of other hosts out there. Depends on what you want to monitor and how much performance you're going to need to pull that off. So I got a tutorial. This one you've got, Andrew. If you would post the SNMP tutorial, it's the one that starts www.manageengine.com. There's a little tutorial here. It's not a how-to tutorial. It's what is SNMP and how does it work? So I'm going to do kind of a little summary presentation here. It's mostly going to be verbiage. I got a couple of graphics to show you with it, but I just want to kind of lay down a little bit of groundwork for you. So SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. And one of the things you've got to know for two different exams. No, thank you. Andrew just posted. The time is now 1 minute before the hour. How's that? Before the second hour begins. Simple Network Management Protocol, you have to know the TCP port for both Network Plus and Security Plus. It's port 161. SNMP is port 161. There are arguably 3 versions of SNMP. It's been around for a long time, version 1, version 2, and version 3. However, there's actually 3 versions of version 2. There's version 2C, the oldest, version 2U, and version 2. And then there's version 3. So what do those 3 things get you? Well, of course, as versions get newer, they Hauk is not watching me today. I know that because Hauk, if you're watching, or if somebody knows Hauk on Houck on if he's on Discord or she's on Discord, get her to come on up. Somebody send a message over on Discord, and when I see her name, his name, when I'm done with the presentation, I gotta tell him something. Anyways, so version 1 has some security, and it's called community based. And basically what happens is the stuff that you're going to monitor has a password associated with it, and that password is called a community. So when I want to monitor information on that host, I use the password on my monitoring program, and I call it a community. The default community is called public. I'll cover that in a second one. Version 2C also uses community-based security. There's a community name, which is a password on the stuff you want to see. And so I will use the same community name on my utility that talks to that thing. Version 2, it provides user-based security. I can put an actual account name on one or all the pieces of information that I want to access, and I provide that same account name here. Version 2 is party-based. It's kind of a combination of both. I'm not going to get into it, and you don't have to know it. Version 3 is user-based again. But the one thing that version 3 brings to the table that the other previous versions don't is it provides encryption. All those other ones are clear text across the wire. People could theoretically do a man-in-the-middle attack and gather your information that you are trying to accumulate. So they all have security. People will say version 1 isn't secure, version 2 isn't secure, version 3 is secure. Well, yeah, there's truth to that, but only in the sense that when we use secure, meaning encrypted. There's a couple different encryption systems that you can use for version 3, AES, with key sizes of 128, 192, 256. You're not going to be tested on this. This is just FYI stuff. Or you could use triple DES with a 168-bit key. All right, into the real stuff. There are 3 components that make up an SNMP system. In the system that's going to be monitored, there are 2 components. One is the stuff that you actually want to know about. Network interface card statistics. Is it up? Is it down? How many TCP ports has it transported? How many UDP ports has it transported? How many bit failures has it had? Is the computer up or down? Is the file system intact? There are thousands of things that can be monitored. And collectively, all of those things are called a MIB, a management info base. It's not a database because it's a little more sophisticated than a database. It's actual stuff. Database is information. Management info base is things. And we call those things objects, in fact. Also, in that same computer, there is a program running. It's typically, well, sometimes it's firmware and sometimes it's software. It's called an agent. The agent is a program that's a go-between between the MIB and the program that's requesting information about the MIB. So I make a request over here. The agent gets the request. He says, Dave wants to know how many TCP ports have been transmitted out of Ethernet 0. So the agent goes and gets that information from the appropriate memory spot or the card or wherever it needs to be gotten from, and puts it in itself, and then sends me back the answer to that query. The program that runs those queries is called the manager. So 3 elements: the MIB, the list of stuff to be monitored; the agent lives in the same device, and it doesn't have to be a computer. It could be a printer, it could be a switch, could be a port, a router, So we got the agent. He lives between the MIB and the manager, and then the manager, a program that has a user interface that we can use to configure and call agents and call MIBs. The manager has six different commands. Get me some information. Get next. Hey, you got information on this thing. There is another sequential thing listed. Get me that. Get bulk. We can make a list of things that we wanted to gather all at the same time. Get me this info and this one and this next one and this one. There is set. Some information is changeable. And so you would use the manager to send a piece of information that you want to be updated. Those are all things that come from the manager to the agent, to the MIB. And the agent, if I send a question, a get or a set, the agent will get me the information and then it will send what's called a response. Not surprisingly, get response, get next response, get bulk, response, response, response. There's an informational send called inform, and then there's the opposite one. There's a trap. A trap is when the agent says a threshold has been exceeded. Even though you're not asking for it, I'm going to send that to you. And we can program it to send it to a manager or to an email address or to an SMS phone number, whatever the case may be. All right. Just a little bit more. I just want to expose you to some terms and some real raw technology. Let me show you a couple images here that I've got tied up with these things. Share. Why do we share? I'm going to finish this presentation. I'm going to go back, answer questions, and then we're going to go get into the two-step process. Set up SNMP and then use, excuse me, Cacti. Yes, did you advance the screen? There we go. So here we've got an SNMP manager program. This particular company is pushing a program called Laureate Pro. We would say Cacti here. Over here are devices that support SNMP with agent. So here's a router, here's a host, here's a switch. And here we can see the manager sending a request, a get or a whatever, a set or something like that. And then the agent in here responds back. And you can see, I'm sorry, they use UDP port 161, not TCP. There's kind of an important reason for that. Now let's take a closer look inside one of the devices. So inside the device, we have an agent that's not shown here. And then we have the MIB, all of the objects and their statistics that we can gather. And they are organized in an upside down root-like structure. They have categories, they have makes and manufacturers and models, and then substats of things that come in there. I'm going to show you one in just a second here. And that's all I need you to see. So some manager out here has called this device. He doesn't know that he's talking to an agent or a MIB. He just says, get me information on the number of transmitted packets that a given NIC has done. So the agent says, the agent doesn't say, when I sent that information, I had a code word for the device and the statistic that I want to gather information. That code word is called an OID, an object identifier. And I'm going to show you something about that. There are thousands of those things, and they're really, 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 really long strings of numbers. So I might say get, most of them start with this, 1.3.6.1.4.1. A lot of devices start with that. And then I start getting more specific. .2001.5.25.31.1.1.1.1.1.5. That's a real OID. And I don't have to know or memorize any of that stuff because they're also given us to in nice friendly names. Okay. Done with that. So built into every device that has SNMP MIB stuff, there is a table of all of these object identifiers. And I got a slide for that. Ooh, tell me I have a slide for that. Yeah, there's the MIB object slide. Okay. MIB objects are organized into two categories. One is standard MIB objects. All devices that support SNMP have a network interface card. All devices that support SNMP have a status. They can be turned on, they can be turned off, and so on. And it's a big, long list. And then there are some objects, some devices that say the standard list of MIB objects doesn't cover everything that we want to track. And so those are have what are called extended MIBs. And here comes an extended MIB. It's just one on this screen. This is one of the MIB objects in a Huawei router. The object name in there is the hardware entity CPU usage. It's a statistic that's updated all the time, real time. How busy is the CPU in this router? Here's the OID for it. This stuff is very common, the first 5 or 6 digits. And then we start getting router make is 25, category of factoid is 31, and blah, 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 blah. There's documentation if you want to read on all that stuff, you'll go blind. Then the table has a nice friendly description for us. Indicates the entity CPU usage and a range of 2 to 100, so it's a percentage. And this is an extended MIB for a Huawei device. Yes, that's how it's pronounced. Lots of people don't know how to pronounce it. Now you do. Not Hawa Hawa. All right, that's everything I want you to know about SNMP today. Didn't take too long. Now we go back into our project, Cacti. So Cacti is a manager. We select the host, the device that we want to be monitored, and then we select the MIB objects that we want to be monitored, and it will go out and watch those things and create graphs for us. It does so with the SNMP protocol. That means the device has to support SNMP. We got to know the MIB objects in there. And again, because they're standard objects, we're just going to be able to pick them from a list. So 2 parts to our project today. 1, pick a host on which we're going to enable SNMP. Let's just dive right in there and do that. Let me pick up a server here. What's a good server to do this on? Not that one. 121 looks like a good one. Am I already using 121? I might be. Stand by. I can still show you the commands. That's fine. Here. Cacti, cacti.net. Okay, 121. We're going to use 121. So bring that up. Pardon me. Oh, really? I don't have VNC going on? All right, we're going to terminal this. I decided a while back that we're going to use terminal because it shows up a lot better and it uses a lot less memory than using VNC. So I got a lot of programs running right now and they're running slow. That was dumb. I brought up PowerShell. I want putty. Putty. There we go. Rocky Pirate Square. Now we're going to type it in manually. 192.168.1.121. Log in as Pi. I know you can't see it yet. Password is Raspberry, RASPBERRY. Okay, we are in. Now we can share it. We'll do graphically when we get to using Cacti, but you need to work from the command line when you're installing SNMP. Last thing I need is my notes here. So I've already got this installed on here. I'm going to run you through the thing and we'll let it gripe and say you've already got a current version of it. That's okay. So it's a very simple process. We start with sudo apt or apt-get. That's what Linux prefers, or what CompTIA prefers. Install. There's a T in there. -y. SNMPD. We're going to run it as a service. And it's not necessary to do this, but if you're going to install SNMP, do it both. So we're installing two packages, the SNMP daemon, the server, and an SNMP client. And we did this -y in there so it won't stop and prompt us. We're going to install this stuff. Are you sure? Yes or no? We're just pre-answering the question. Now it's already installed, so it should say you already have the most current versions of this stuff. Here we go. Buzz, 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 grind, grind, grinds. SNMP is already the newest version. SNMP is already the newest version. The install time on that takes 10 to 20 seconds. It's very quick. Now, the next thing we need to do is this is optional, but something you're going to want to do in the real world for security. I'm not going to make the changes in here, is we're going to edit a configuration file. And to do that, we're going to say sudo nano, and the path of the configuration, whack etc, whack snmp, whack snmpd.conf. And there's 3 lines that we want to change. Now, everything here with a # in front of it, that's a comment line, so that's nothing happens. So we're just looking for uncommented lines. What am I looking for? Looking for agent address. There it is. Agent address. So this is the line that by default is in there, 127.0.0.1. It's an okay line to lead. And by the way, you can see there's an IPv6 address here. That's the internal, that's the equivalent of loopback in IPv6. But I found that it wasn't very happy working with Cacti as 127.0.0.1. So I changed that to the actual IP address of this computer, 192.168.1.121. I left this alone because I'm not using IPv6, so it doesn't matter. So that's one of the things that we're going to change. Next is the read-only community. And there's 2 of them here. Read-only community means community is a password. Read-only means the MIB can be read but not changed. We can also make it changeable by creating a line for the RW community, read-write. So we're going to say read-only community, and this is for IPv4 because it doesn't say IPv4. The default password is public. In the real world, we would change that. Here works fine for me. And then these were the default lines that were in there. We're just going to leave them alone. And then if you want to change your read-only password for IPv6 accessors, you should do that. Should not leave it as public. Public is the standard default community for every SNMP device in the history of mankind. So if you leave these at public in the real world, you are exposing your system for very easy access. So when you're all done with that, let me make a change here, delete C, put it back in. Now it's been changed. So you'll quit out of it with Control X. Since a change has been made, it wants to know if you want to save the modified buffer, yes or no. I hit yes. And what do you want to call it? Well, since I called it by this name when I started with it, I think I'll keep it. Okay, that's all there is to installing and configuring SNMP on a computer that's going to be monitored. We're done. So now we got to monitor it. And for that, we're going to go visit our friend Cactus. Let me get out of this thing. Exit. Okay, that's gone. So we bring up a web page here. Not that one, this page. Okay, we'll go over to Cacti. Really? Okay, I can do that. I'm going to have to change my head around just a little bit. So if you see me in the little box in the corner when I'm sharing this, I'm going to be looking to the left. Get a share page up for you. Okay, so I've had Cacti running in this browser page, and it auto logs you out after a while. So if you want to do a fresh login, there it comes. Still going to take me back there. Okay. What you do is you go to the name of your host that's running Cacti or its IP address, 192.168.121.1.121/Cacti. You're just a patient thing today. There we go. And you come up with a login page and a password. If you use the installation we did last week, login name is admin. And then I set a password for it, which I've used. You're going to have to remember your password when you set it up in the install last week. And this time I'm going to have it keep me logged in. I haven't done that at all on this installation, but I want to make sure it doesn't throw me out while I'm working with you here. All right, so there's the page that I showed you the screenshot of a little while ago. And initial basic configuration comes from these three menus in this order. And you can see as I go over this, some part of it is link and some part of it is not. So create devices is link, but for network isn't. Same for create graphs, and view is the only one in here, your network. So let me see. Yeah, you're gonna have to run you through the process a little bit. Again, it's done and running on here. So you have to forgive me just a hair. And there's a couple little weird sub steps in here. You can also get to this first menu option by going to create, and then there'll be a little plus symbol in the upper right-hand corner of the page. You click on plus, and then you'll have an option to add device. But we're just going to say create device here. And there's a form that comes up. A lot of information on that form. And you don't have to fill much of it out. This description, that's optional. It's free form. You can put anything in here you want. This is my RPi host that runs Cody. Yeah, I don't have any other host that I set up in here for planning. Host name. I tried host names in my network and I haven't had a good deal of success. So you can put in the IP address of a given host. 192.168.1.141. And is there anything else you have to do here? No. Local Linux machine. This is a template for various different devices. It could be a generic SNMP device, a local Linux machine. So on one of them, I use a generic SNMP. And the nice thing about using a generic SNMP device is you get a lot more MIB objects to choose from. But this one I'm going to do on local Linux machine. This isn't going to work because this machine that I've set up on here doesn't have SNMP on it. And I'm looking at the time. I'm not going to have time to put that on. You can pick your SNMP version. Here's the community code name that we're going to use. Public matches what I had in that configuration file. If I change that configuration file and put a new password in there, new community name, then I would do that here. We're going to use port 161, 500 seconds for timeout, and maximum number of OIDs per GET request. We can make a bundle of GET requests and call for default max 10. But the only things I had to put in here were the description, the host name or IP address, and everything else is cool and copacetic. Create. Buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. I hope it's not trying to call out and find it. Ah, there we go. Okay, the operation was successful. And I got a failure here. And that's okay. Session SNMP construct PHP network address. Yeah, he tried to go out and make an SNMP call to that device and it failed. So you would expect to see something green there. Or you would expect Dave not to be an idiot. I put a comma here, not a dot. Let's update that. Buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. Come on, show me what you can do. There we go. Operation was successful. Now, he couldn't get anything SNMP from it. That's what I was looking for. But at least he contacted the server. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to the main menu. Main console. Boy, that's slow today. Okay, there we go. Main console. And the next, we're going to create graphs. And we got a menu and some sets to work from here. You could also get this from the left-hand menu where it says create graphs for your new device. Excuse me. So we're going to make new graphs. Main console from the main window, create graphs, just making sure I'm not missing a step here. I do that sometimes when I don't follow my notes. We select the device. Where are you, handy dandy little device? Data query, graph templates. Oh, okay, so the device. Test local server. Now we just set up, this is my RPi host. And at the moment, we only had one device, default template. So there's multiple templates that you can work with here. Edit our device, do whatever, that's all right. Here's the templates. I can do just the memory usage template. I can do load averages. I can do all of these things. And that's in fact what I want to do. I'm going to select. Now, fine, select all. And then down here, these are the 4 standard graphs that it's going to make. Types of graphs. I can also go in here and select other SNMP objects. So how about the CPU usage in there, load averages in there. It's not Cisco, host mib for logged in users. Yeah, let's go see who all's logged into that server. We can graph that, or it'll give us at least quantities of numbers. And down here, you can track activity on your mounted devices. And these are standard Linux mounted devices. Boot's the only one that exists from this list in our Raspberry Pi. Oh, and root. So let's just pick those 2. All right, so we picked all this stuff with select all, including a new one, and a little bit of that. So we've created graphs. Now all we got to do is look at the graphs. Back to the main console. Now these graphs aren't going to work because obvious reasons we don't have SNMP on that machine. So I'm going to show you on the machine that we do have SNMP on. We'll pick view your new graphs. And all this is going to happen by SNMP. It's going to be making calls. Here's 2 hosts to pick from. Here's the one we just tried that should be failing all over the place. Fail, 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 fail. Sure. So let's go visit the other one that I set up. And you can set these up to overlay each other. And there's so much more that we can do with all this. Plus got buried in there. Oh. Did I shut it down? Should have lots and lots of information on here. We can zoom in. I did a right click on here. Zoom in, zoom out, set the zoom modes. Open up a graph in a new tab. Can save graphs, copy graphs. Similar menus come here from this settings gear. Well, I let this thing run all week, hoping that it would have a lot of good information, and I'm not sure why it doesn't. But all right. Oh, that's why I did that screenshot the other day. I know why, because this thing has to be running and polling all the time to make graphs, and I had it logged out. So I hadn't even logged it in today, so it doesn't show anything from the most recent period. We can set our timestamps in here. We can tell it to go in and out beyond its zoom capability, how to program and use our third mouse button. Well, I should have saved that one. Let me go back here. But if you sit there and let this run for an hour, it'll do that. And one of the things that you can do on these graphs and charts, stop it, is set the time period for which you want to view graphs. So Cacti is something that in the real world you leave up and running all the time in a browser, as a service, whatever the case may be. Come here, you. Okay, there's my time graph view. There's not going to be anything to see. I'm so sorry. View just this graph in real time. This is network graph. It should be the network activity graph. Let's see if we zoom in here. There we go. We're starting to get some activity. And this by default polls every 10 seconds. All right, it's all doing the same thing, so we're not seeing any good activity going on here, but you get the idea. Zoom out 2x. If there's funky spikes that are meaningless, you can kill them. So look, I just want to expose you to this whole concept here. Here's our time settings from when I want to view something and when I don't. How about if we view this thing all the way back to, I started working on this on Friday or Saturday. So let's see if it gives me some of that information back from earlier in the week. Nah, it's off scale. I got to go adjust the on scale. Doesn't matter. Saw it. This is how you configure. We can always go back to the main console with this console management thing. I can write a course on this that would be a semester long, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. This is a powerful, sophisticated utility. You can set up, you don't need to watch that while I'm yammering at you. You can set up specified users to only have access to specified resources that they can monitor. So Fred, you're responsible for all the devices in the sales department on the 3rd floor of this building. And Sally, you're responsible for these devices. And Pat, you're responsible for all routers on the campus. And so as they log into these things, when they log in with the appropriate account name, they will only see the resources that they're supposed to see. Cool, eh? I'm gonna leave that run, and if we have time, we'll check the results at the end of the show. All right, back to you then. So that is the basics. Installing, it's easy. 5 commands. Then phase 2, set up SNMP on the computers to be monitored. Phase 3, configure Cacti. And that was the most rudimentary, basic configuration that we could possibly do. Create a device, create a graph, view the graph. I have a lot more documentation on step-by-steps of things you can view and see and how to see them if you want that. Again, the server's dead. Thank you very much. Nice typo there. Send me an email, daveR@totalsem.com, and I will send you all my notes, and it will be cool. All right, that finishes that. Let me go answer questions, and then we'll do another contest for a CompTIA voucher. Woo! That's why you're here. I know. You're not fooling me. All right. When we left off here, I left off at 2:52. That was a half an hour ago, but I know you're all just rapt attention. 1883. Thank you, Frank. Yes, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I just don't have that much more time to watch television. I get my 2 or 3 shows a week and the world's a happy place. All right, I've super scrolled. which is actually kind of a good thing. Gives me an idea of how much stuff I got to catch up on. There we go. All right. I guess I got moved back a little bit further. Anna, her husband got my husband got a Raspberry Pi for smart home. It's 9 months later and it's still in the original state, already thinking of putting Kali on it. Very nice. Yeah. And the cool thing is, you know, you shut it down, you pull out that micro SD card, and now you still got your home service, your smart home right here. Just pop in a new card and set up Kali on there. Do what you want to do when you want to go back to home service, shut it down, pull the Kali card, pop the smart home back in. Really love that stuff. If you got an 8 gig version, you can set up virtual machines on there with different installs and instances going on. So that's cool. Annie, I'm already using it at work every month for scanning PCI DSS environments. Very cool, Annie. Be a regular. We would love to talk with you more about that. Nessus is great. I'm doing a Nessus show at the first or second week of March. Yeah. Anna, post the Discord link again, please, Andrew. Anna. Andrew, if you haven't already got it, is going to post a link for our unofficial total Discord, unofficial total seminars Discord, UTSD. Please join us. We would love to become your friend, learn from you. I want to bounce some things off of you about Nessus because I'm setting up. Nessus is now available for Raspberry Pi. Very good. Thank you, sir. That's also for everybody else too, Andrew. And oh, it'd be great to work with you and somebody who's got good experience with Nessus. You on it. Okay, she'll have to go, but you got it handled. Super. I'm still talking at her, huh? All right, she's a security engineer for a financial firm. Ultra cool. Okay, lots of good conversation going on between her and Andrew. It's all been covered and she's gone, so I'm not going to read that stuff. Brian, 303, I'm currently working on A+, and I'm using Mike's videos too. I passed Core 1, doing Core 2 on Sunday. Good luck, buddy. Oh, yeah. I mean, let us know right away. Let us know on Discord. Let us know wherever. We're all waiting already with bated breath. Robin Williams once said, I'm waiting with a worm on my tongue. Bated breath. And then 305, Brian, starting 2 years CyberSec diploma in September, but using computers for 20 years. Good. Wow. Okay, I could slide by a lot of conversation here because it was all Andrew and Anna and Brian. I don't know if I would have been able to pass Core 1 of A+ first time without Mike's video. So that's very kind of you to say so. Thank you. Just reading messages here. I forgot another. Check syntax, Dave. Yeah, you caught my T, huh? Okay, so I should always do copy paste and not try to manually type. Patricia Grace is here at 3:20. Happy Friday. Happy Cactus. I think you hit refresh. I might have. This is a lot of fun. Good. I'm glad you think so, Chris. All right. Well, I'm caught up on all the questions at 3:38, and that means it is big time to post up a question. Andrew, if you'll have the winner post ready to go. We're going to do a contest now to give away a CompTIA voucher, good for any CompTIA exam in existence except cybersecurity analyst, CYSA plus, not in their list. Don't ask me to explain it. It simply is, and that's the way it goes. Where can I use this voucher, Dave? I'm glad you asked that question. Anywhere in the world where CompTIA exams are available. Is that cool or what? So what's going to happen is we're going to hold a little contest here. If you have previously won a voucher, you can enter. But if I find somebody who hasn't won a voucher after you've posted yours, they're going to get it because we're trying to spread this around a little bit more. We don't want people hoarding them until we don't have a choice. When everybody is done and everybody's got at least one, then we can go and kind of open things up. But, you know, we kind of weight things toward new people and people who haven't won vouchers in the past. But by all means, feel free to participate. If you have won a voucher and you're participating, please put on your guest line the word pass. so I don't have to say, oh, that's a winning number. Let me go look up that name. All that name's already a winner. Sometimes I remember, but we got a lot of names in there and they are getting way past my ability to remember these things. We make it as fair as we can, but there is an inherent unfairness built into the YouTube chat feature that will make your name appear first in your list, and it may not appear first in my list or Andrew's list. So we do what we can, but I'm not trying to cheat anybody out of anything. I promise you there. So the winner I see first that's valid is the winner. And if I make a mistake, they're still the winner. And I say, yeah, that's it. There is no unless. Good, that one. Oops, I don't want to do that. All right, what else is cooking up here? So today's contest is going to be a random number again, within a range. If and when you win, Andrew is going to post a message to you on the YouTube chat, copy and paste it, and send me everything that's in there. I'll throw up another page on there and we will discuss it in all detail because I have plenty of time. What is it? It's 41. We got 20 minutes left of show time left. All right, I use the pseudo random number generator to generate a random number that falls between, oh, wait a minute. So you can have 5 guesses. They must be on different lines. I don't want to see a guess that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to guess a number that's 100, cool. And then guess another number, 200 down here, and another one. Get the idea? So, because there's only 15 of us on here right now, there's a lot of winners and there's a lot of employees on here. They're not eligible. So you're going to have a number of guesses to help me make this a contest, make it fun. Okay, got that? The range is between 1,000 and 3,000 inclusive. And what you're going to do is guess a number the closest to without going over the number that my pseudo random number generator generated will be the winner. So here we go. Start posting guesses, a number between 1,000 and 3,000. Your number should have 4 digits in it. Somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000. Chris, pass. Okay. Make a guess and then pass, right? It might be fun just to see how well you did. But as I recall, you got a really close number when you won. Okay, that number is closest so far. There's a closer one. Ha! It was closer, but he passed and passed. Okay. And by the way, if you see a number that's the same as guess as yours, post yours. They may be passing, they may not be valid, or post one that's 1 digit above or below them. You get the idea. Okay, there's the next one. Wow, that'd be interesting if that person won. Come here, you. My page is scrolling so fast. I can't keep highlighted ones. See, that one's over. It's super scrolling. I'm having a tough time tracking it all. Going to run for another 20 or 30 seconds. Okay. So I'm just reading and following things here. All right. That's a winning number so far. Oh, there's a new winning number. That one's closer. Reading back channel commentary. Too big, too big, too small. That's the winner so far. Wow, that one's really close. Too big. 5 more seconds here. Okay, too big. Too big. Wow, that was. All right, the last line that I'm going to accept is Tulowitz guess of 2222. So if your number comes in after that, it is too late. So Andrew, you are seeing one that's different than what I saw. So let's compare notes on the back channel. Let me send you a message on back channel. Stand by. Go over here. I'll copy that. All right. I have posted to you, Andrew, the one that I'm seeing. Hang on, I haven't posted it yet. Got to fix something. There we go. Okay. All right. See how that matches with your notes. Because the person you're seeing, I'm not seeing as having a closer number. Stand by. I'm going to write this. Oh, okay. Let me see where that was. Oh, no. No, that's off by 1,000, Andrew. Oh, wait a minute. You're right. I was off by 1,000. Hang on. I thought I saw one that was that with the standby. You may be right here. Give me the time mark for the one that you're seeing. Yes, that is the correct number my system generated. And what is the number of that first person that you're saying guessed? Because if I have to hunt through the whole thing here, I'm going to find all of the posts they did previously, and I'll wind up hunting forever. Actually, the second person you have in the list was our very first winner. Okay, both of those are out. Going back through. Man, I got a really close one, but they're out too. Now, I'm not doing doubles yet, but I'm going to have to start in the next 2 weeks, I think. All right, this one. All right, I got one. I may be wrong on this, but that's the one that I found with all the searching and everything. The correct number in the guess was 2277. And so I have as my selected winner, Mr. G with 2,200. Let me double check something here. But even if you already won one, I've spent so much time here, I'm going to do it. MR, there is no period in that one. Yes, there is. MR dot. Mr. G, you have already won one. You forgot to add pass and make my life easy. I'm going to look one more time, but then I'm not going to spend too much more time on this thing. Who do you guys see as closest to 2277 without going over? 28, 1400, 12. I'm looking for things in the 2000s. 1974, 1266 was would have been a winner. Way to go. 2250. Andre, you've already won one, I think. I could be wrong. Andre. I'll look. I knew you've won some other stuff. Andre has not won yet. Andre, you won, man. At 2250, that's a total winner. Way to go. All right, Andre de Goyert, you are our winner for today. I see at 2060 people are guessing. Now I'm going with Andre de Goyert. Right or wrong, you know, that's my rule, right? Once we picked a winner, the winner is picked no matter how good or bad I am. All right, so Andre de Goyert. Andrew is going to post the how to claim your voucher. And I'm going to post it up as a thing, voucher winner. There we go, as a share screen. Bzz, bzz. Yeah, I agree. All right, so you're going to send me an email, Andre de Goyert, to Davar at TotalSem. You're going to identify your real name, your YouTube name, your email address that you want CompTIA to have, which exam you want the voucher to be for, be specific by number, the country where you intend to take the exam. And I know your country is not the US unless you're coming to visit us. You do not have to include a state. If you are already registered with CompTIA, make sure you use the same name and same email that you are registered under. Congratulations, Andre. I know you're working on a new one. So that is just awesome. Guys, we are approaching critical mass. I'm going to start opening up to multiple winners here in the next 2 weeks. Or I'm going to get an announcement out to everybody that says, hey, we got winners. And once we get some more people in here, we'll do that. No, don't do that. Keep my odds good. I got to update one more little page here. There we go. Put that on that page. Save that. All right. I'm done. I'm caught up. What did you just do there? Foolish man. All right. Let's go check and see what other questions have popped up, and we'll check notes. And we got about 10 minutes of showtime left. What is cooking? There we go. Sorry, I've super scrolled. Will Shaw, all of your guesses were very close. The answer to your question, Christina Strickland, was 5. It'll probably be 5 again next week. You know, it'd be really fun if you had us do this between 1,000 and 3,000, but we had to express. I have done that in the past, Will. It's a lot of fun, except then I have to go look it up when we're comparing closest twos. It's a pain. Reading questions, reading answers, trying to get past all the answers things here. 5 guesses. Wilshaw was right. 342. And Andre, yeah, everybody was in agreement that we've all come up with Andrew on that one. All right, total tester winner, email to, okay, so at 3:49, Andrew has posted the how-to claims. Copy and paste that and send it. Andrew, if you would post one more time, both the Discord link and the specials link. We'll talk about those one more time. Can't win if you don't play. You're exactly right. Can't win if your boss talks to you when the number range is said. Dude, I'm in a contest. Dudette, I'm in a contest. I'm so sorry, Christina. All right, well, listen, this is not your last chance. Come to Mike's show on Monday at 2 o'clock Central Time. He gets 2 contests and all his presentation done in under an hour or about an hour. And then he does it again on Wednesday. And then we'll do it again here next week on Friday. So there's 3 chances a week. And we allow multiple winners for Total Tester. And if you've won Total Tester, you can also win a voucher. So we're pretty liberal with this kind of stuff. And again, I'm going to have to start opening up the vaults a little bit and start giving away multiple vouchers. So that'll be cool. Not multiple in the same day, but people can win same one. Charlie Schaefer, here's the one I had first. Of course, you were, you posted almost first. So no matter what, you were going to be the closest at that moment, right? I saved that. Yes, I did. Stop it. Do that and then shrink that. Okay, now we're in business. All right, well, let's see what's going on in close-up notes. I'm seeing everybody is kind of bailing now that the contest is over. Nice try, no cigar. Turns up at almost the very end. Nice to see you, my friend. Where did I close that? No, there it is. Oh, that's right. I had to move it over here. I have this big note on my outline. Do not read out loud. Generated number is 2277. I can read it out loud now. All right, time permitting. There is no time permitting. So let's talk about upcomings. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I am now going to begin my evenings working on Nessus on the Raspberry Pi. Hopefully I can get that kind of down and learned in 2 weeks. I have to contact the nice folks at Nessus. That's not the name of their company. It's Trembedit or something like that. And have them send me an activated one that's good for 45 days or however long. It's a special one they're doing just for us. So we've got time to learn it and time to present it. So I will pick a topic. Man, I got a huge list to work from, and I just added to it today. So I have no idea. I will pick it tonight or tomorrow, start working on it tomorrow night, and it'll be all doled up and ready to go on next week. Mike's show on Monday, he has no special feature. He's doing just regular Q&A. Love that stuff. He's so much fun with that, and he's starting to get over our big emotional shock and turn back into his normal, fun, gregarious self. My plan is to be in the offices with his studio next week. We'll see if he invites me to partner up with him. Probably not, but who knows? He and I have some cool things to do on Monday and Tuesday together. So we'll see how it goes. More questions. Let's go. Christina, I watch all three. I've got to learn a bit so I can actually do my job. Okay. And you can't win the contest by watching them on the archives, but they're all archived. And if there's just something interesting that Mike talks about, or you're just looking for some good background noise, you want to do some learning questions other people have, by all means. Hey, here's a question that nobody's asked yet today. I checked this today just to make sure. The new A+ exam. There is nothing yet listed on the CompTIA site. Some people, at least one person here, however, watched a live presentation from someplace else yesterday, and that presenter may have leaked when we're going to see an announcement. I'm NDA'd. I can't go any further than that. But if you hang around Discord, our unofficial total Discord channel, you may be able to find that information or glean it yourself. Let me throw a couple of posts up here just to make sure we get all of our ducks in a row. Stand by, pulling something up here. Okay, these two things. One. So again, reminder, we've got bundled specials at the totalsem.com website. You can pick up a bundle of an ebook and a matching total tester practice test. Okay, you share the Discord, I'm sharing the special. And you'll get 50% off of those two bundled items together. They don't pre-package the bundle. You got to get the ebook for A+, and then you get total tester for A+. Put them in the basket and use the code Charlie when you check out. A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, everything that we have an ebook and a total tester for, you can turn into your own bundle, and you're not limited to one bundle. Andrew has also posted the Discord invitation link at 3:57. Join us on Discord. I'll be on Discord at 5 or 10 minutes after the show ends. I got a few things to answer forums and do my own little bit of moderating here. And after that, I will see you on Discord, and otherwise I will see you next week. I don't see any new questions popping up. What are you doing? That's a weird place for that to be. Move that over here and then it will be better. All right, well, let's wind things up then. My my chat feed is covered now by all the other stuff I just had to bring up. So if you're asking more questions, I'll miss them. Either ask me again next week or catch me on Discord in a few minutes. So we're going to wind things up for the day. Many thanks to Mike Myers, Andrew Hutz, everybody at Total Seminars who makes this happen. And most of all, my thanks to you. This doesn't happen without you being here and your participation. I am Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident PI specialist, wishing you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents and the rest of your family. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. So good night. We'll see you on Discord and at the AMAs next week. I am out of here. This presentation was recorded before a live audience and is a production of Total Seminars. No animals were hurt during the production of this program.